Good morning, this is Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered No More. I suppose I'm very grateful this morning that from this desk I have done some very vicious coming out of darkness and wilderness and too much light, darkness and light coming out of it that was tormenting my soul, work on YouTube particularly. And in as much comforting as I could give at the time, I told you that from here you would see a wooden box, I remember that time, which is now in another place, but it's still here. It's still here. And it houses a story, ongoing, of deliverance from evil. But aren't we always housing that? Sometimes I think and know that we need an oasis from the storms of journeys that we must travel through in this world system. And I pulled from my Animal Wisdom deck, which is not tarot, I pulled a beautiful 3 pattern, and in love with the other oracle that are changing my life, went Nordic with it, left to right. And the message is just glorious, and I'm hoping to get that up tomorrow at one of my special places, get the work up. And I've packed away Nature by Ralph Waldo Emerson for tomorrow as well. But yesterday when I was at that place, I said, I'm going to try to push through another chapter of Rudolf Steiner's book, which is like rewriting my brain. Not about religion, about metaphysical reality and what you see with your eyes reality, weaving themselves together instead of clashing constantly, is what Rudolf Steiner's about. And it has occurred to me today that I don't need deliverance from religion. My religion is pure and always has been. There's many of us like that. It's what the society does with religion that is not pure, and we know that. But I am watching people far and wide. If they can't point out something wrong, like dramatically wrong, then they just stay to themselves. That is being cowardly. If you are going to weave a new world, don't weave it in negativity. And that is where you need your prophets, your prophetesses, your sorcerers, your sorceresses, and your poets, one and all. If you are in that world, I'm a sorceress, you need to develop your poetic side, no matter how small it be. I've always had it. It's always peeked through the terror in my life. I made a pan of, I needed to use some buttermilk. I think that was yesterday or the day before. No, it was the day before. Any day I get to spend in my kitchen and just reveling in love, messages that come from a kitchen, is a good day for me. And I got to make some things. Today is going to be like that. I'm having to learn to live that way more succinctly instead of being disjointed, which is what my writing in Faytale brought out, Double Moon's Prayer Initiative. I am disjointed. Well, my joints are healing, literally. I have my ways and means committees of darkness to light and light to darkness. The balance. The balance between the sun and moon has always been there, and the moon and sun. It's what we do with it that counts in the real world. So there was a host of poets gathering around this little sister. A host of poets gathering around this little sister. And I am grateful. Because if you do not have your poets, you do not have life. Psalm 74. If you investigate war, which I'm doing it a little at a time as I can with one docu-series that was recommended on X yesterday, and I've already begun it, and cast by Isabel Wilkerson. I'm not going to be finished with cast anytime soon. I won't be releasing that blog article anytime soon. Yeah, I can't. It's so true. And I knew it since I was 10. But to flesh out with actual studies and the actual history, story after story of monsters invading our beautiful world, doing this. It must be done to temper reality. You do repeat your past, America, small I. And you'd rather repeat wickedness. Now, wouldn't you? So, poetry is a great help. Reading it, writing it, dwelling in it some days. I didn't start with coffee this morning. But I have a particular pot given to me by my Arabi calling to me saying, you need your 7-minute coffee. So I think I'm going to get dressed and finish some work here upstairs and then head downstairs because I've got some work to do downstairs, including beginning a pot of beef broth, which is very special indeed. Plus, I've been telling my partner, he bought some walnuts to eat, and I want to crisp them, which means that's Sally Fallon's Nourishing Traditions has to come out, and I have to reread. I used to soak. You soak raw nuts. We get them from Costco because that's a big old bag, good price, and then you soak them for a certain length of time, and then you lay them out on a cookie sheet, and they dry at 170 degrees in your oven. It could actually go lower, but that's as low as mine goes. Or you can use the dehydrator, and they're crispy nuts. They turn out crispy, and they're lovely, and the rancidity is gone. So I guess this week I'm going to try to do that. I had a busy week that just, do you ever have those busy weeks that it's like this big storm that overtakes the entire week and you lose contact with your normal life? I had that last week, but it was good and it was difficult, but it had flashback that was hard, and I want to make the most of those tears that I cried. How about you? Changing our perspective and forgiveness is probably one of the greatest acts of the apostles. Let's listen to Apostle Stephen Vincent Benet this morning, shall we? Difference. My mind's a map. A mad sea captain drew it under a flowing moon until he knew it. Winds with brass trumpets, puffy-cheeked as jugs, and states bright patterned like Arabian rugs. Here there be tigers. Here we buried Jim. Here is the strait where eyeless fishes swim. About their buried idol, drowned so cold, he weeps away his eyes in salt and gold. A country like the dark side of the moon, a cider apple country, harsh and boon, a country savage as a chestnut rind, a land of hungry sorcerers. Your mind? Your mind is water through an April night, a cherry branch, plume feathery with its white, a lavender as fragrant as your words, a room where peace and honor talk like birds, sewing bright coins upon the tragic cloth of heavy fate and mockery like a moth. Flutters and beats about those lovely things. You are the soul enchanted with its wings, the single voice that raises up the dead to shake the pride of angels. I have said. And that just about says something, doesn't it? Of such beauty. We, and our minds will heal, my loves. This is Beaty-Coffey of the Ministry of Uncovered No More.